Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. This is the podcast that almost never happened. I'm here today with Aga Tompkins from Tricoci Salon. Aga is the style services and education director. When I met her, she was with a different brand and with a different company. So I'm so excited to catch up on everything that she is doing now. So Aga, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. We've tried to do this too many times and it's finally here.
It's finally happening. I'm so excited that we made this work, and I'm so excited for this time with you. So you are located in Chicago. Now, you haven't always been in Chicago, right? Like you've been, when you've worked with different brands, you've been in different cities, right?
So I grew up in Chicago. I did live in LA for a little bit and then back in Chicago, and I traveled a lot for work. So I still lived here. I just barely worked here because most of my job was out of the state. And even like before this, I worked for Amica. They're in Brooklyn. So it's like my first time in a very long time working with like a Chicago company, and it's so exciting.
That's awesome. Now, did you go to beauty school in Chicago? Where did you go to beauty school?
Yes, I went to beauty school in Chicago on the south side of Chicago, and yeah, in Chicago proper because now I live in the burbs, and but I did grow up in the city, so yeah.
That's awesome. And what were you doing in LA? What was your career path at that time? How did you end up there?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I was young. I just wanted to live in LA. Like as a young lady, I went out there when I was like 18. Totally lied to my parents. Was like, I'm going to Wisconsin. Drove to California and fell in love. And then met.
Wait. Hang
Yes.
on. Wait, you told your parents you were going to Wisconsin and
Yeah.
you were, but like full intention, you knew that you were
Oh
driving to
yeah.
Los
I
Angeles.
got caught. I totally got caught. My parents, I think they knew I was always, I had that spirit of travel. Like I always wanted to try new places and go places. And I did like I was a grown up technically. I mean, I was 18, but I still, yeah, I did that. And it like changed my life because I think even doing things like that, I was just always adventurous, right? So I did moved back there when I was 21 and lived out there. And at that time, believe it or not, I worked for the brand Journeys. So, like the shoe store, I was like
Yeah,
a regional manager for Journeys. And that's kind of where I got my like first like kiss of business, where I really decided that I love business. I love, just, I don't know, all of that aspect of like careers. I knew I wanted to run businesses, I guess, essentially.
that's awesome. So do you
Yeah.
remember like doing that at a young age? Like when you would play and stuff or when you were younger, were you doing like business stuff? Like I remember like
Oh,
setting up like a little like travel agency thing or like like it
yeah.
was always that it was like my thing that I was doing. Like I was always doing that
You know what?
stuff.
I don't know. I don't know, but I just, you know what? I think it leads back to people. Like I really love people, so I think I liked helping grow people and had a passion for everything I did. Like if I did it full on didn't, I always had new ideas and things like that. So even though it was just Journey shoes, I mean, you really ran those stores like from the ground. If like plumbing needed to get done, you're the one calling like a plumber, right? So even though it was corporate, there was moments like that where I'm like, I really do love I like numbers, I like all of it. So I that's what I my first salon, I opened a business. I wasn't even licensed. I actually just wanted to open it as a business and then decided I need to go to beauty school. Beauty's always been my passion, and so I did that while I owned a salon.
That's so amazing. Like you're the first person I've met that has actually owned a salon while they were going to beauty school. What was that like? Explain like what the salon was like at that time, like what it was called. And I want to know like how many chairs, like what the vibe was
Okay.
while you were going to beauty school. Like how did you even do that?
I don't even know how I did it still. It was definitely like the hardest year of my life. That my salon was called Rock Razor Scissors. So
Love.
it was like a rock and roll vibe. That was kind of the idea. I opened it 2008 is when it was born, and it was during a recession. So I knew that I needed to have a business that essentially had a niche. It couldn't just be another salon because Chicago is so oversaturated with salons in general. At that time, I was like, okay, I need to have a niche. And my friend in LA, actually, where I did do some projects with her and stuff like that as like assisting in her salon. And it was sort of the similar vibe. So I got her blessing, and we did hair for bands, like music videos, all that kind of stuff. That was the idea behind it. And that's kind of how I got into the music industry, was through that.
That's so cool. I love that. That's such an interesting story too, because you were so young. When you look back at
Yes.
that, are you like proud of that, or you were like, that was insane?
That was insane. No, no, no. I'm very proud. Absolutely. I believe I was 23 when I opened my salon, and the vibe was cool. Like, it was 8 stations, because you asked how many. So it was eight
Yeah.
stations. It was obviously a much smaller salon, much smaller than the salons I am very lucky to be part of now. Tricoci salons are like huge. It's awesome. But I would say, it was very cool. I learned a lot. I worked with incredible stylists. Like, even a few stylists that worked for me back in the day are doing such amazing things now in the industry, that it's really cool to see where everybody ended up, like, so many years later. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it. I went to school. It was hard, but I did have that support from them. So I learned a ton from them, right? Like, it was an odd situation, and I'm very lucky that the people that worked for me were incredible. So they really, just helped me out, and were like, you should be doing this. We all know you, this is what your passion is. So I really had a big support in my salon. And then when I'd go back to school, I'm like, I own a salon. Really awkward. It was really funny. Everybody's like, can we work for you when we're done? And I was like, I don't think I can fit everybody.
I love that. I think it's so cool that you did that. And like as you're going through, I bet you were picking things up like, oh, okay. Cause I'm sure that you had like other salons like and stuff coming in. And so I don't know. I feel like it's not, it sounds crazy. Probably don't recommend, but I think it's awesome that you did it.
I would not recommend. And I think it full circle, like, obviously, now I'm back on the back end of the salon world again, like, all these years later. And through all the years I was behind the chair and on tour doing hair, every day of my life, but I finally officially am not behind the chair on a regular basis. I still do work with my team and do some hair, right? But, like, now I am in charge of, like, the logistics more. So I've gone full circle for sure.
Yeah, which is so awesome. And that leads me into kind of talking about what you're doing now, because I think that all of this has all of these steps along the way have obviously gotten you into this amazing position. And so although we weren't able to record our conversation last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we were supposed to record, it didn't work. We were able to catch up and talk. And I literally went home to Mark and I was telling him, I was like, Olga and I still got to talk a little bit, and like what she's doing is so amazing. Like it's so exciting, and you could just like tell that you're so happy with what you're doing. And so I think that in hearing your story, these pieces that that I've heard, it does just seem like you've grown up into this like role, and like this is the time in your life that this is when you have all the tools that you need to really be so successful in what you're doing, because you're excited about it, like you're ready for it, you're the person to do it, and you're excited. So let's talk about where you are right now. So you're at Tricoci Salons in Chicago. So how many locations of the salon are there?
So there's 13 locations, and then we have our HQ, which is like, I work technically out of HQ, but I go
Yeah.
all over the place. I go check them all out and visit all the teams. And yeah, it's really great to have been in the position of being a stylist and having the role of helping them, because I know sometimes in these corporate roles, the people maybe never, never were behind the chair, aren't cosmetologists. So I think they really strategically picked who are the people going to be, in these roles, because I have a counterpart that's like in color. We are specialized. So I'm on the style side. And I would say, our CEO, Allison, Liz Allison, and then our CMO, Kristen Chase, and my boss, Jamie, they've made a really conscious decision of like, we're going to pick somebody that will really help guide our team, but also are super nerds in Excel and PowerPoint presentations. I'm just kidding, but kind of.
I know, and those people are like so important, but it is like two different kinds of brains. You know what I mean? But it
Yes.
makes like a perfect team, which is great. So I think this role that you're in, we were kind of talking before about, all of the ways that you're able to impact people. So now it's not just like you're creating for 8 people in a salon. There are so many stylists. So you came in at kind of an interesting time where changes were happening in the company. So this company
Yes.
that has been around, multi-generational, just a name, especially in Chicago. Like everybody knows, whether it's Tricoci schools or Tricoci salons, like everybody knows the name, which is so incredible to celebrate that. But I think what I took away from our conversation last time and what I'm really excited to talk to you about is kind of where you're going. So you have this idea of, obviously it's 2024, we're current, we're moving in a different direction, but still while holding on to the past. And it's something that, I'm in the same exact situation as you with the school and what I'm doing. And so talk to me a little bit about what your vision is moving forward, or what are the most important things for you as you're changing some things. I know education, I know the
Yes.
associate program, all of that. Talk to me about what your passion is right now.
So obviously education is so important to me. I just feel like as a stylist, you never stop growing because trends are constantly changing, right? There's always new technology, new things. So for me, I am, again, back to being a nerd, I am such a nerd. So I'm always like studying almost this industry in a sense. And I think like we are constantly learning, not even about like technology and trends, but like the science of our industry and the health, like scalp health, like all these things. So for me, I think where my focus is right now is just helping our team grow and be ahead of the trends, be ahead of technology and all of that. So we have such a huge team. It's just really important that we take care of our clients and know what to expect. So it's almost like just looking forward and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm just always studying everything. But we've brought in like tons of education, and we always had education at Tricoci, obviously, like Tricoci University. So it's not that things are changing that much in that sense. It's just that we're evolving in other ways, maybe bringing in different brands with new things and working with different teams to bring in the next level that maybe we don't know about. Like for instance, there's always new tools, so we're working with tool companies and just seeing what's next, what's best, and bringing that in.
Yeah, I think that's such an exciting time to be in a business. I think that if I was a stylist looking right now, like this is a place where I want to be. I don't, and this is definitely like a personality thing. Maybe I just hate feeling stuck or feeling like things are all the same. But I think that it's so important to always be moving forward. And so if a stylist is looking right now, like this is the time to come in. I think it's the
Yeah,
best time for something new and something fresh. And I think in a lot of companies, I don't know if this has been your experience with other salons maybe you worked at, but like there's sometimes can be a sense of like we have to say the same. This is what we do because it's the way it's always been done kind of mentality. And I don't think that that works for a lot of people in this industry. So I think
right.
that that's something that you're really excited about to bring into this
Yeah.
company that is already so established. Like a lot of times, like I think it could be a different attitude, but it sounds like everybody on the team, even it's not obviously just your idea or your, plan to do this. It seems like the whole team's on board for it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's very strategic. And I think even like all the amazing people that have worked here so long, they're all on board. Like I work really close with he's the creative director in style. His name is John, and he's been with the company so long. It's incredible. And I'm like honored to work with him. But I keep throwing new ideas at him and being like, John, we're gonna change education up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And he's just like, jumping in with me and hearing me out and trying new things. I think that's what's cool about Tricoci is like everybody's on board to try something new because I do believe in our industry, like sometimes salons can get stuck in their ways or, in any industry, let's be honest, like
Hmm.
where there's businesses that kind of are comfortable, but I don't know that our industry ever gets comfortable. I mean, fashion, everything changes so fast. It's almost impossible to just be like, "Oh, we're good." It's never ending.
Yeah, one of the pieces of advice that I like always give to students is just to always be ready to change. Like I think that sometimes people struggle here. Like I see it in beauty school, like where when we're like teaching a new haircut and when they don't get it right away and they're like, well, this is how we have to do it. Well, okay, this is for right now, but it's also gonna change. So,
Yeah.
like you've got to learn those basics. But I think being willing to adapt is one of the like the biggest strengths in your personality I think that you can have in this industry because they're everything like you said is constantly changing and we're always just like doing different things. So let me ask you a question right now. As you're looking into, you're just so in it right now of what the industry needs, where we're going, what we're doing. What do you think salons are looking for in stylists? Like whether it's somebody coming out of beauty school or somebody that has been at a salon previously, what are you all looking for? What kind of person are you building this education for?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I always find that you can teach people skills like technical skills. So, I mean, we're really focusing on bringing the right people that fit our culture too, right? Like, and being really inclusive and just like making sure that everybody's welcome, like in the sense of, I don't know. It's one of those things where we're really focusing on curls right now. Everybody knows that you don't learn enough about curly hair in beauty school, and there's a lot of things, it's not just curls that you don't learn enough about, but we're really trying to um, bring in every different kind of person so we can grow as a team and learn from each other and bring in that education for everybody and just keep growing. I mean, it's always been part of our industry where we're evolving and it's never ending, and it feels like that still, which I find shocking, right? Like sometimes you feel like, how could we still be evolving? Like, but we are. And I see it all the time. Like in the last, I would say 5 years, there's a lot of changes that have been happening in the right direction. And I love that. So, yeah, I really feel like that's a big focus is like bringing in people that are willing to grow, really willing to learn and evolve.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's such great advice too. And just like I think being on a team that treasures that is so valuable. And I know there's a lot of people. Chicago is such a big city. And so that's why I was really excited to talk to you too, is because I know a lot of people out there are not in these bigger cities listening. And if Chicago is a dream, like this is a great salon company to come into and to get started with. And I know how sweet you are and I know how welcoming you are. So I know that that will translate as well. So I do want to give you a
Oh,
ton of
thank you.
credit for something, and then I want to talk about what this like kind of looks like. But the booth at America's Beauty Show this year, I know that you really pushed for getting that presence there. So I want to talk about what if there are salons out there, how you made this decision, or why you kind of thought this would be a good space for you, and kind of how that turned out.
Well, I think honestly, a big part of it is like our education team is incredible here. Like they have so much to offer that there's like a part of us that that knows like other people need to see this. And we've been, it's, you know, it's a Chicago show. It only makes sense that we have a booth there. And but beyond that, just being on rotation, all of our departments, because it's not just, you know, it's not just hair. That's another thing. Like it's a salon and spa, and we have nails, we have every department, everything you can imagine, massage. And so just having all of our teams rotate on that stage was awesome. And watching other people get to learn from our team was the coolest experience. And I think that that itself, it was worth it. But just getting to see all the different people there, you know, it's, you have to be part of it. You learn every time. We were next to the Andis booth, and we were watching them, and you know, it's just, it's like that companionship within the industry where you really get to be with the people and live it together, because it's a lot of work. But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Well, it was so awesome to see you in that environment, to see you up on stage and to see you teaching. And like, you were just such a light. And I thought the activation booth that you guys came up with was so cute. Like, looked like the subway with, I thought like the attention to detail that you gave with all of the stops being the locations. I mean, you just went above and beyond on it. And I think it's so cool. So I have a question that might be like a little tricky for you to answer, because I
Okay.
know you're in this role, that you're in now. But what has been one of the favorite jobs that you've had in the beauty industry? Like, what is something that you were like, I never thought that I would get this opportunity, but here I am? What has been a moment like that that stuck out for you?
Well, of course. I mean, we didn't go into this at all, but I worked, you know, in the beauty, or sorry, in the music industry before this, and I think working with Carly Rae Jepsen, if anybody doesn't know, then that opportunity of getting to travel and do hair everywhere around the world, you know, that I still pinch myself. And beyond that, like, I mean, I got a chance to work with some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. So I would say that itself was a dream, and I'm so glad I did it. And was lucky enough to be chosen to do that. And I think the universe like made it happen. I belonged there doing that for over a decade. But yeah, that would be it, of course.
That's amazing. And I think it's really cool because I think a lot of people aspire to be that. And I think one of the things that is hard to understand when you're young or when you're deciding what you want to be for the rest of your life, like you have these goals and like that was great for a season for you. But life wasn't over after you achieved that thing that was so good. It's how do you continue to like nurture those relationships that are going to build your career further? So I think that's what you've done such a good job of. And like, I think it's been really cool to hear that you had that experience again, that a lot of people are like, that's what I want to do in the beauty industry, right? Like that's the dream. And I did an interview recently with
Yeah.
somebody that is a celebrity hairstylist, and they're like, yep, not as glamorous as you think. And although that's what everybody says, there are different sides to it. I think what's really cool is like you being able to keep that going like through all like ages and all phases of you is really cool. And like had a younger version of me known that, had a younger version of me known that there would be it's really cool to like hear that and share that. I really love that a lot.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things that I've been trying to bring into Tricoci as well. Like, I think having a little glimpse of maybe even like celebrity hairstylists. I've brought a couple in since I started there to do continuing education for our team. Or there's like little things. We just did a socks thing for the White Sox, like a lunch and learn. But hoping long term we can really full circle it and do more things like that. And they've done through before my time. Of course, Mario's done all the incredible things through his career, but just like a new version of that is always exciting. And I always think about my team and like ways I can just get them excitement in their life in general. So bringing in people is really fun.
Yeah. One of the things I'm trying to like share too is like the different opportunities that are in the beauty industry. So like whether it's working with a brand, working at a salon, like all of these things that you've done have really just like come in to be, this is the perfect space for you right now. Like it's crazy to like to hear these snippets, to not know your entire story and to be like new friends, but to be like, oh yeah, you did this. And okay, wow, that helps in this side of your job or that side
Yeah.
of your job. I'm just so happy for you and
Thank
so proud
you.
that this is the space that you're in. So I want to ask, where can people follow you and where do you usually direct them? Like if they're looking to come work with you at the salon, is that the biggest thing right now? I know you guys are hiring. So
Yeah.
where can we find you? Where can we follow?
So Tricoci.com, we have a spot on there for careers. If somebody's looking for a job, we're hiring and it's a great place to work. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Aga Tompkins Beauty on Instagram and follow Tricoci as well. And I believe it's Tricoci underscore official or official underscore score Tricoci. I don't know. Why don't I know right now? Because that's how it would be in the moment. But yeah, definitely go follow us and make sure you apply and maybe we can work together.
I love that. Well, I'm so excited. Thank you for being here with me today. And I cannot wait. So the plan is to come up and see you. So hopefully we'll be able to do this in person as well. So just so thankful for you. And I know that if you're thinking about coming into the beauty industry, if you're in that area or thinking that Chicago is like a place you want to move, highly recommend meeting up with Aga to hopefully get a place that you can call home. So thank you so much. And we will talk soon. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.